So, hi guys, welcome to Simplify with Swapna, and this is our first series where I introduce you to Power BI. And I have started this series so we can go from a beginner level to the advanced level. So, I don't want to directly put on the advanced concepts, but I do have some medium articles which I will be posting over here where you can see the advanced stuff or even ask me any questions regarding Power BI, and I'll be really happy to help. So let's start for the beginners that we have over here, who really are interested in Power BI and who want to be in this field of analytics. Okay, so before going into this, let me introduce myself. So I am a data engineer. I have been in the IT industry for 15 years, and I actually love teaching, and I thought what better than to go on YouTube and just give some free tutorials so that the beginners and the learners, the freshers, will be able to go through it. Now you may ask me that you have chat GPT, why to go through these tutorials. So I understand that in this world of AI everything is like this, and chat GPT is the new Google. But still, what I have gone through in my personal experience when I do my projects is that the answers sometimes that are given by these AIs are too lengthy, and sometimes I feel they do get confused in the answers that they give themselves. And when you try to verify with them, it becomes a big battle. So I want to have some crisp tutorials over here, like you can see on my screen right now. Let's start without doing anything else, so I don't want to take much time. So let's go into this. So this is a tutorial where I have taken a very simple data set. So this data set is basically sales data set of Myntra that I've found from Kaggle. If anybody wants, I will do put the link below in the description when I'm posting this video. So it's a very simple data set. If I can show you this data set, let me just show you first the Excel of this data set that I have downloaded. Okay, so this is the data set. Okay, this is these are not two, this is one is in CSV and the other is in Excel. So I have downloaded it in CSV but converted it in Excel. Okay, very simple, only 52,000 rows. So don't get me wrong, I have started with a simple data set for Power BI, but as and when you do your projects, you will understand that the data sets are not simple at all. In fact, they are so complex that you will take a lot of time in building the data model than in actually doing visualizations in Power BI. But let's start from the beginning. So let's take a very simple data set over here. So this data set has this brand name, description, price, MRP, discount, ratings, and number of ratings. Okay, very simple. 52,000 rows, something around 52,000. Let's close this. Now let's leave this pbix as it is. Let's have a blank report. Okay, now in this blank report, the first thing that you need to do is to connect your data. Okay, not every data is in Excel. Majority of the times it is not in Excel. So we have our data set in Excel over here, and let me just show it to you again. So this is an Excel workbook. You can also go from here. The first thing is the Excel workbook. The easiest is the first. Okay, and we will go through the other data sets, don't worry. So let's start with the Excel one. So if you connect it directly going to my data set over here because I've chosen it earlier. So let's click this and open it. So when it is opening, so let me click this over here. So it gives you a preview. of your data set. It's still loading, so it gives you a preview. And there are two buttons over here, if you see, the load and the transform. Okay, the load and this transform. So if you select this data set, that I want to load this data set, okay, now there can be multiple tabs. The workbook can contain multiple sheets and multiple tabs may come over here. So you can select which tab you want to load and which tab you don't want to load from the worksheet. Okay, so right now I'm having just one tab, that is the Myntra dataset. Okay, there are two tabs over here, that is the transform data and the load data. Over here I'm just going to load the data without doing any transformations. Okay, the transform part we can check again in another video, but I want to keep this video very crisp and small. So let's just load this data set again. Yeah, so somewhere around 52,000 rows, and you have your data set over here. Okay, now let's view the data. So this is the table view over here, where you can see the data set which is loaded. Okay, now further on we will go into videos and tutorials where I will explain you the difference between the import and the direct mode, where sometimes you will be able to see the tables data but not always. Okay, so over here we are kind of importing the data, so we can see the data inside. Okay, you can see the entire data inside. Okay, and you can even play around with this data in the transform model, that also we will in the transform mode, so we will see to it later. Let's come back to our report view. Okay, so this is the report view. First of all, I assumed that people will understand that when you are starting with Power BI, you have to work on the Power BI desktop. Okay, so you have to download the Power BI desktop. You can download it from Microsoft Store or online also. Okay, so we already have it and we have loaded the data now. Now the thing is that over here what I have done it, if you see the data and think like a manager kind of, there is brand name over here. Okay, and there are multiple brands over here, you can see. Yeah, so from A to Z there are a lot of brands. In that brands there are pants generally which are given over here, the price, the MRP, what was the discount, the ratings out of how much, all this data is there. So if you think that when you look at this data, what is the useful thing that you can take out of this data, that is the brand name and the pants that they give with the price. I think these three are the most important things over here, and then of course fourth comes the rating. So these, let's play around with these three first. Okay, so what I thought was that because the brand names there are a lot of brands over here. Okay, so I wanted to jot down those brands alphabetically. So when you click on A, you will get all the brands which start with A. When you click on B, you get all the brands which are starting with B. So if I take the brand name, let's take a button slicer. So button slicer, what it does is that it will show you all the brands in the form of buttons. So okay, so yes, so these are all the brands. Now there are a lot of formatting styles. Okay, Power BI is there are huge formatting things over here, of course less than tab view, but still there are a lot of things which we can play around with over here. So let's increase the rows maybe up to 6. Okay, that looks fine. Okay, now the thing is that I don't want all these brand names coming in together. Okay, I want the users to feel that they are selecting something. Okay, so let's make it alphabet wise. Okay, so if they want Alan Cooper, let them select A. If they want catch, then let them select C, or other likewise. Okay, so they don't have to see everything at once. Okay, now how can we do it? Okay, so I want to create alphabet from A to Z so that I can filter on these brand names. Okay, so when I select A, only the brand name starting with A should be visible. When I select B, the brand names with B will be visible. Now there are two ways to do it. First of all, I have to generate the A to Z alphabet series. Okay, and I can generate it with creating a new table or a new column. Let's create a new table over here. There is a reason for that, and I will explain it to you in just another 2 minutes, I think. Okay, so when we create a table, okay, so I went into modeling and creating a table. Let's go and let's name the table as alphabet table, basic name. Okay, before having the add columns is when you add the columns to a table, when you're creating a table in Power BI. Let me generate the series. Okay, so you can generate A to Z in Power BI by using the ASCII values of it. Okay, so ASCII values of A to Z are, I think, from 65 to 90. If you write DAX queries over here, you will be surprised that they actually prompt you with all the values that you can input. So if you see over here, you can see generate series, and they have given a starting value, an end value, and how much increment you want in that value. So if you want to generate a series from 1 to 100 or more, you can just use generate series and generated, and with a gap you can give an increment or a gap between them. So we want it from 65 to an end value of 90 with an increment of 1. Okay, so this is the we have just generated numbers from 65 to 90. Now we have to add these numbers. Okay, so let add columns. We added these numbers in the table. Okay, and then let's give them one more name. Now we want it letters. We want the actual letters, we just don't want the numbers. So let me have the name as letters for them, and I want the value for these. Okay, so Unicare, this is a direct DAX that I can use to actually have the values of these numbers. So if you read over here, it actually gives you what is the description, what is the command doing. Okay, it returns the Unicode character that is referenced by the given numeric value. Okay, so if you see, we can have a value, this value of, so if for 65 it will give you A, for 66 it will give you B, and just close it. So this is how I have created a table with A to Z and also the series in the table. So when I commit it, you will be able to see this table gets created over here. And now I will tell you how it works. See, these are the letters and these are the values. So simple, right? So now I have created the table, and I have the brands over here, but there is still something which is missing before I link them. Okay, now if you see in the Myntra dataset scraping table, okay, the brand name is present, but this brand name is having the entire name. I cannot link my alphabets to the entire name. So for that, what I will do is that there is a very simple command to it. You have to just extract the first alphabet right over here. So for extracting the first alphabet, let me create a column. a new column to extract the first alphabet from the brand name. So you can write the first letter or the first alphabet, anything. And there are commands like left and right. I'm using left. Okay, you can use even right and give, but I think left is more suitable over here. The text is the brand name, right? I want the brand name, so I will give the brand name over here, and then I will give the number of characters. So number of characters over here is only 1. I just want the first character. When you use right, you have to give the last character, so we don't know, so that's why I use left, so we can give the first character. And this is done and marked. Okay, so let's go over here and check, and yes, we have the first letter of the brand name. Easy. Let's come to our report again. Now I have the first letter in the brand name of the brand name, and I also have the alphabets over here. Okay, let's put one more button slicer. I love button slicers. Let's put button slicers over here. Okay, come on. Okay, let me put the letter over here. Okay, and doesn't look that nice, just a quick layout change, very quick. Let me have at least 10 together. Yep, looks better. Now if I click on A, does anything happen? No. If I could click on N, does anything happen? No. Something is missing. Missing is the relationship between two tables. Now Power BI is very powerful. If you forget to have a relationship on your base database, okay, there has to be a base database for the Power BI to connect. Okay, and generally what we do is that we basically create a data model on an analytical layer before connecting it to Power BI, because sometimes it becomes difficult to handle a lot of data in Power BI and create relationships. But by chance, if there is on the fly kind of a requirement and you don't have time, you can 100% have a relationship created into Power BI. Or if you're building a data model which has some less data, relationships can be built directly over here, no need to worry. Okay, so very simply just go into manage relationships in modeling. Okay, you can auto detect, but I don't want to right now. Create a new relationship. Okay, alphabet table, select letter, to table, Myntra dataset scraping, go to the first letter. Okay, and it detects the cardinality also, so it is one to many. Obviously it is one to many because the alphabet, the letters that we have are from A to Z. There are no duplicates in that, so that's why it is one to many. But in the table, the first letter, there are many A's, right? So it is one to many. A preferable relationships. Please, whenever you are having a relationship like that, building of a relationship, please check to it that you don't create a many to many relationship in Power BI, because it will be too difficult to handle. It will confuse the data. There are a lot of issues regarding it. So you have to be careful. One to many, many to one is preferable. Cross filtering single, I will keep it single. I don't want a reverse filtering over here. If you want, if it is necessary, then you can enable both. Okay, so single or both, right? I want it single. Save it. And now let's see the magic. Just close this. Okay, yeah, so it filtered out. So N, click on S, V, yes. So we have a beautiful filtering going on over here. Magic of Power BI. And just to show you all, okay, let me add one more visual, the last visual, to close this very simple tutorial. Okay, and let me give the brand, no, not the brand name, let's give the pan description. and the price. Okay, let's J Jump USA. Okay, so men's relaxed fit jeans 5,591. Good. Jade blue, lot of pants. Okay, 52,000. Good. Okay, so now we have a nice simple dashboard over here where we are filtering data with the alphabet. Now you can play with this data anyhow you want. Okay, I have taken it from Kaggle and I am going to give you the link so you can download it and do as many things as you want, create as many visuals as you want, and just play around with it. So thanks guys, this was a very simple tutorial from me. See you next time with one more tutorial, and let me know if there are any things which you are stuck up in Power BI or even Azure. I will make a very short tutorial for you all. Okay, thanks and bye bye.